Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna. And today I'm going to make my September thank you cards for my customers who placed orders during the month of September. And so I decided to go with a fall themed card, which I really like. My favorite season. So for stamp sets, I'm going to use the Painted Harvest. This is really nice, and you can do so much with this. And for designer series paper, I'm going to use the Nature's Poem, and this is just gorgeous. It has so many beautiful, beautiful colors in it, and you can do so much, and it coordinates with so many of the great fall colors. And what I like about the designer series paper is that right here on the back, it'll tell you exactly what colors coordinate with these papers. So I know Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, Grapefruit Grove, Mint Macaron, Petal Pink, Rich Razzleberry, Soft Suede, Tranquil Tide, and Whisper White will all work with these colors. That's a great piece of information to have. So what we have here for paper is, and all of these measurements will be on my blog because it is a little daunting. I have a piece of Mint Macaron, which is going to be my card base. And this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Then I have a piece of Cajun Craze, which is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And this is what I'm going to make the two mats out of. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Then I have a piece of designer series paper, which is 3 3/4 by 5. Then I have a piece of Whisper White, which is 4 by 2 3/4. And then another piece of Whisper White, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And that's going to go on the inside. And I've also decorated the inside of my card. And I've decorated the outside of the envelope, which is really a must. So let's get started here. So first I'm going to do my stamping. And I am using photopolymer stamps, so I do want to bring in my Pierce mat. And I'm going to be stamping off. So I have a piece of scrap paper here. So the first thing I want to do is to, here's my sample here, is to make my flower here. And for that, I've used Cajun Craze. And this is a two-step stamp, but it's kind of the flower is kind of a whimsical two-step stamp. It really doesn't have a perfect lineup. I mean, obviously, if you line it up totally off, you'll notice it, but it doesn't have a perfect lineup. So I'm going to use the stamp that has, it's more solid, and you'll see that it's kind of a textured image. It's not going to come out solid. It has a little bit of texture to it. So I'm going to stamp off once. And then right here in the corner, I want to catch most of my flower, but I do want it to come off of my paper. And there's that. Then I'm going to come in with the more detailed stamp and stamp that with Cajun Craze, ink that up with Cajun Craze as well. And then as long as I kind of just line up my middle there, I'm going to just stamp right over that. And there's my flower. Isn't it gorgeous? I've seen a lot of these flowers done with like a crumb cake inside, but I really wanted a little pop of color in mine. So I'm going to stamp up the inside round circle in crushed curry. And again, it's not a precise lineup, so I just want to basically get it in the middle. And there it is. That's great. And now I'm going to do my leaves. And the leaves I'm doing in Mint Macaron. And this is a two-step stamp as well. This one is a little more, you line it up a little more precisely. So I'm going to put one flower right there. Another right here, and another right up in the top corner here. And again, this is not a solid image. It has a little texture in it. Now I'm going to ink this back up again with the Mint Macaron full strength, and I'm going to try to just line up these stems there. And it does line up pretty quick, easily. See, that's just, as long as you line up your stems, you're pretty much guaranteed a good lining up of your flowers, your leaves. And then one more right here. And there are my leaves. Coming together pretty quickly, right? Then I'm going to come back in with my Cajun Craze, and I'm going to use the sentiment that says, gather together and give thanks. And I'm going to put that right here in the middle. Make sure my paper is straight and my stamp is straight. Now that's pretty in and of itself, but I thought it needed a little something. So what I decided to do was, there is this image in the stamp set, and I think it's made to go, here it is right here. It's made to go inside the center of the flower, but I don't like it there. When I see it there, it reminds me of, I don't know, it's here. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm not really nuts about that in that flower, so I don't use it for that. I'm going to use it to make my own background. So I'm just going to randomly stamp all these little dots. And when you're doing this, you do want to go off the page because it doesn't make it look like it's so planned. Okay, and you can go over some of the words because it is a light stamp, a light ink, and I think that's great. Now I'm going to put that aside. And while I have all my stamps out, I'm going to do the rest of my stamping as well. So I'm going to bring in the 4 by 5 1/4 piece of cardstock, which is going to be my inside of the card. And I also have my envelope. So what I'm going to do is, again, the same thing I did for my card. I'm going to stamp the fuller image and put it, turn that over, it just got smudged there, in the corner here. And while I have this, I'm going to do my envelope as well. I'm going to put this on the left bottom. And I'm going to come in with my more detailed stamp and do that as well on the inside piece. And now I'm just going to add the center to my flowers. Again with the round image in crushed curry. And there we go. Now I have matching envelope and a decorated inside to my card. And now my stamping is done. I'm going to put all those pieces aside. So the next thing I want to do is cut out my Cajun Craze mat. Now the mat, turn this around this way. The mat on the outside, I need it to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. But I need the inside mat as well. That needs to be 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. So this is 5 1/8. So I know that I have about 1 inch to play with on top and bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down, and on the Stampin' Up! Stampin' Trimmer, you see it has these great lines here. So I'm going to come in probably, about 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to come down 1/2 inch. And I'm going to, I need this to be, what did I say, 4 1/8. So I'm going to come down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1/8. Then I'm going to turn it over and line that up with this groove in there and drop my blade. And I need this part to be 2 7/8. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to just line that up. Hold on one sec. I want that to be right there. 1, 2, and 7/8. And now I'm just going to drop this back in there and line everything up. And if I have done my calculations correctly, this piece of Cajun Craze is going to be a perfect size mat for my white piece. And there we go. I just need to trim this just a tiny bit. It's a good way to save yourself some cardstock. If you're doing a bunch of them, it might be a little tedious to do that. But if you're doing like 1 or 2 cards, it's well worth it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this and then straighten up any lines that weren't exactly right. Okay. Oh, I don't have that straight. Let me try that again. It's a very narrow border. So now I'm going to bring in my trimmer and just straighten that out just a little bit. Okay. And a guillotine might work a little better. There we go. All right, perfect. And I've done 2 mats with 1 piece of cardstock. Okay. So now I just have to put this together. So here is my piece that I've cut out from my second mat from, and I'm going to take my Designer Series paper, and again it's a very skinny border, and you can never tell that that is cut out on the outside. So now I'm going to attach this to the front of my card. I'm going to center that up right there and attach the whole package to my card front. Turn that over a little bit. I did a lot of glitter projects this week, and everything in my room is touched with glitter. Can't seem to shake it. And here is the inside of my card. And it's going to go right in there. And here is my matching envelope. And isn't that a pretty card set to receive in the mail? If you have any questions at all about this project, the process, or any of the products that I've used, certainly contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com, and I'll be certain to get right back to you. And while you're at my blog, I would suggest that you click on the link that says subscribe and receive my newsletter. It goes out every Tuesday usually, and I do have a recap of all the videos I've posted on YouTube for the previous week, as well as information from Stampin' Up! About promotions that they're having, as well as promotions that I offer personally for my customers and my subscribers. And if you would like to receive a card in the mail every month, all you have to do is place a small order with me. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you back here later. Bye-bye.